presented, my name is Tiago Dias. I came from Portugal. I'm going to speak a little bit about the project that we have in SPE, in this case in Madeira Island, about light pollution, the impacts that this has on mostly nocturnal biodiversity, and what we are doing with volunteers to contribute for these problems. So before we go on, just let me introduce you SPE. We are an NGO, a BirdLife partner in Portugal. We have offices in the mainland, in Madeira Islands and Azores archipelago. We count with more than 4,000 members, and we get with us more than 500 volunteers per year in our projects. So light pollution, it's a recent problem, a recent threat for biodiversity, at least in all the threats that we are talking about. It's recent, but it's evolving really fast. But looking at light pollution, and mostly people, and I would say it's an easy threat to solve it, right? You just turn off the light. But we have a huge problem in the last years. So we are changing the sodium lights, the yellow lights, to LED lights. And an LED light can cover 3 or 4 sodium lights, but we are doing it 1 sodium for 1 LED. And come on, LED it's not bad. It's amazing for efficiency, but it's bad for light pollution. So we need to measure everything. So for the ones that don't know the Macaronesia, so the project involves all these 3 archipelagos, so the European ones, that goes from Azores on the top, Madeira here near to the top part of Africa, and Canarias on the bottom. Cabo Verde is there, but it's not included in the project because it's an European project. This is what it looked like during the night. So all the red you can see, it's light. Mostly are in the biggest cities, of course, more people, more light. But as Madeira and Azores, really small islands, and you can see the red around Madeira. Well, Madeira we will see it more on the south side, and Azores a little bit all around. So, who does it affect? Mostly in Macaronesia, we have 3 different groups of animals that live at night. The first ones, and one of the most affected, are moths. So moths are attracted to lights. They fly around lights until literally they die because they are flying around and they cannot get away. Of course, this has an impact also on birds, diurnal birds, but also on bats. So our bats in Macaronesia, they are attracted to the light areas, not because of the light, but because all the moths are around the lights, which means invasive species like cats can predate on bats much easier. And then we have the group that I've been working much more, which is seabirds. So seabirds are really attracted to lights, and mostly juveniles. So juveniles doing the fledglings, so when they are leaving the nests, there is a few alternatives, but mostly they are not used to light. So they tend to follow lights of the stars, lights of the moon, and so on. So what happens is when they are flying really close to the cities, they get attracted to lights. When they get close to the city, they get orientated and they fall, which we call fallouts. Some of them, unfortunately, they die with the imbats, so against walls or light poles. Others are they get predated by cats, for example, or people, because they're still poaching in Madeira. But others, actually, we can save them. I don't know, mostly of you already saw like a penguin walking. Like they don't know how to walk, they fall and everything. Seabirds, this group of seabirds, procellariiformes, are almost the same thing. So at the sea, they are amazing. Inland, they are a mess. Okay? They were born and they evolved to live without predators, without threats, on islands only. And of course, it affects people. Okay? People on sleep. So we have an hormone that we have an hormone that is produced while we are sleeping, which make us sleepy and we fall asleep. And with the lights, mostly LED lights, the blue color, we get like it's day 24/7. Okay? And this affects our health and our sleep. The most thing we need to do on the project, money-wise, There is a lot of money that it's completely, so money that it's public lights that we are not using it, so where we are wasting money with lights that we don't need. And of course the climate change with carbon. So the project came, we work with a lot of things, but I don't have time for that, so we go straight for the volunteer works. We do have volunteers on the seabirds colonies that we work every single year to following all the breeding cycle, but mostly all our volunteers coming, it's for the seabird campaign. So we have the most abundant species that we have, it's the core issue water. And during this time, which is October and November, we do campaigns to rescue these seabirds that fall inside our cities. We have volunteers from a lot of places, a lot of countries that go to Madeira during these 15 days. So, and as an NGO, without a place to allocate all these people, without a house or something to give for free a place, all these people are coming to Madeira paying everything to do this job, okay? What we do in exchange, it's during these 15 days, we train them for seabirds, of course, and we do certificated formations so they can learn a little bit. So mostly of our volunteers are students, okay? Learning, and they want to get into this area. So every single year, more or less, we rescue 100 core issue waters. We have 300 volunteers. This is from 2022, it's the map, until 2024, and more than 2,000 kilometers per year that we walk in our cities. It's actually funny because this map, I made it before, but I just noticed that we have, well, they sent an email a few days ago that we have volunteers from Latvia going this year for the campaign. So, I have a small video that it's in Portuguese and Spanish, but it has subtitles. So I hope you can see the subtitles from here. It's literally our volunteers and what we do. It's a little bit speaking about the campaign.
Todos os anos, entre outubro e novembro, decorre a campanha Salve uma Ave Marinha. A CPEA organiza brigadas de patrulhamento noturnas que conta con un apoio imprescindível de voluntarios.
Bueno, pues esta experiencia es muy interesante porque siempre he querido aprender de aves o de cualquier otro campo que no sea vegetación, que es la que me interesa a mí. Y por ahora estoy aprendiendo muchísimo aquí de manera activa, o sea, yo haciendo cosas, no simplemente que me las expliquen.
Esta campanha não é só importante para conseguirmos ajudar as aves marinhas a encontrarem o seu caminho pelo mar, é também uma troca de experiências, é uma troca de emoções, é encontrarmos pessoas novas. Eu já faço isto há 4 anos e todos os anos é muito gratificante e é sempre uma boa experiência, nunca é igual ao ano anterior.
Estas campañas son de octubre a noviembre y son recomendadas para todo el mundo que le gusten los animales y básicamente es una experiencia única, que conoces a mucha gente que le gusta lo mismo que a ti.
También es cierto que las formaciones son muy interesantes, ya que, como he dicho antes, no solo se centran en aves, sino que también se centran en cómo introducirte en el mundo de conservación natural y también en otros aspectos como insectos, mamíferos y otro tipo de cosas. Entonces lo recomiendo muchísimo para la gente que simplemente le guste este mundo, no hace falta que seas un experto en nada y simplemente con ganas de ayudar ya es suficiente y que puedes venir de cualquier parte del mundo. Si es de Madeira, genial, y si no, pues también, de cualquier parte del mundo también puedes venir.
Acabo sempre por conhecer e formar amizades com pessoas que não são de cá e que vêm cá ajudar-nos, como também com pessoas de cá e que acabam por se tornar voluntários ao longo dos vários anos. Todos os anos reservo o meu 23 de outubro a 5 de novembro para participar nas campanhas. Eu faço quase sempre no mesmo sítio, mas temos muitos sítios onde os vários voluntários podem participar e acompanhar os trajetos que já estão predelineados, que costumam ser junto ao mar, que é onde há uma maior incidência de poluição luminosa e onde acabam por incidir mais aves marinhas.
que disfrutas mucho porque ves por las noches todas las cagarras cuando se liberan volando. Es una sensación muy chula y muy emocionante que la cagarra que tú has cogido porque se ha desubicado por la contaminación lumínica, luego se ha liberado al mar, todo de noche, súper bonito y la verdad es que queda marcado.
Todos nós podemos ter papel ativo na conservação das aves marinhas e na proteção dos céus noturnos da Macaronesia. Se por um lado podemos optar por iluminação mais eficiente nas nossas casas, reduzindo a iluminação excessiva e também optando por luzes mais amareladas que têm menor impacto na biodiversidade, também podemos seguir o exemplo de inúmeros voluntários que têm apoiado a SPEA, quer nos trabalhos de monitorização das aves marinhas, quer nas campanhas de resgate. Estas campanhas de resgate revestem-se de uma elevada importância porque as aves marinhas, nos seus primeiros voos para o mar, entre outubro e novembro, são afetadas pelo excesso de iluminação das nossas cidades. Portanto, muitos voluntários no terreno significa muitas mãos e muita oportunidade que nós temos de recolher estas aves e podermos reencaminhá-las para o seu meio natural, que é o oceano. Portanto, o nosso apelo é que tenham papel ativo na conservação da natureza, seja voluntário e apoie-nos no salvamento das aves marinhas.
O projeto LatViaNature at Night é cofinanciado em 60% pelo programa LIFE da União Europeia.
As I said, we have volunteers from all over the place, and as you guys did the question on the past season, mostly of our communication comes from online communication and word by word. So we do newsletters, we do Facebook posts, Instagram posts, and so on, but mostly we get known by word. So a volunteer that have been there 2 weeks, and the next year there is 2 or 3 friends that come from the same place that they knew because they spoke about it in a cafe or a bar or whatever. And our phrase, it's for a night full of light and not full of artificial light. As the main goal is to protect biodiversity, increasing efficient energy, and actively engaged citizens in environmental changes. And that's it. I'm sorry I passed the 10 minutes, but...